Hello and welcome to this episode of Blade's Military Museum. I'm your host, Blade, and as you can see on the screen, we're in War of Rights. What I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to go through the uniform, go through everything, talk about uh, the 6th Louisiana, which, funny enough, is the regiment I'm in War of Rights, but this is the 6th Louisiana right here, our standard uniform in Company A. And I'm just going to go through it, talk about the pieces in it real quick and what they are, how they are accurate to the uniform of the time, which this is the Maryland Campaign 1862 Battle of Antietam. And this is actually in our drill camp right here. But to start off, we're going to look at the hat, which, as you can see here, it says it's a slouch hat. Now, there's a few different types in here, but we use this slouch hat in particular. Now, if you look at it, it's got a flat top, wide brim to it, right? It's a good slouch hat for a civilian. This is a civilian slouch hat, or the style is. But that was pretty common in the Confederate Army, especially the Army of Northern Virginia, to see a lot of slouch hats like this one here. If you look at his jacket, it's actually a frock coat in the color of butternut. This was a common color, common dye color in the Confederate Army. Butternut, you had cadet gray, butternut gray, several different variants of colors. But this one in particular, we use the butternut, which I love the color of butternut. I've had several uniforms that were this color, and they were top tier, my favorites. You can tell it's enlisted because it is a single breast, which means a single row of buttons right here, right? The shirt underneath is and you can see it right here, a white shirt, which was common. That was kind of like a standard issue military color. It wasn't dyed, it wasn't patterned, it was just a plain old white cotton shirt. The trousers are a medium color. This is what I would call like a cadet gray. That's might be wrong, but that's what I would consider close to a cadet gray. Um, and the shoes he's wearing, you can't really see them for down here, but the shoes are brogans, which is a standard type of marching shoe, army shoe of the day. And we use cotton gaiters, which you can actually see the gaiters better than you can see the brogans. Um, he has a thin blanket roll, this red piece right here going across his chest, which is over the top of his cartridge. Uh, well, where the cartridge belt is here, because you have a belt down here, which actually has a Louisiana state license plate. Excuse me, has a Louisiana belt plate right here. Um, Now, I do want to make note of one thing. You see how it's white, like his accoutrement is white, and technically the cap pouch and the cap cartridge box should both be white as well because white was an English set, right? And in a lot of cases, with the English, especially like at Shiloh, is a good example. The cap pouch was actually up here, center of the breast, and it went right on with the cartridge box. And then you still had your belt down here, but your cap pouch was up here instead. But this should technically be white with everything. He has an undyed or an untarred haversack, which is white, which is just a white cotton haversack. Canteen's the same, just a standard canteen, flat, uh, flat-sided canteen. But this is what we look like in Company A, 6th Louisiana, 2nd Corps on War of Rights. But it's cool that we're able to have different uniforms and everything in this game, and you can actually customize in this game. The the uniform I was wearing beforehand, I actually had it modeled after what I thought a Tennessee soldier at Shiloh would look like. Then I joined this regiment. We've had a bunch of fun. We play organized events and everything else. Um, but it's a great time with great people on a great game. And one thing I haven't talked about though is the weapon. If you look right here, this is an infield, and the way I always tell an infield from anything else, the quickest way to tell, is you got your brass piece, and then the ramrod, the shape of the head of the ramrod right there is a dead giveaway. It's an infield in this game, and actually in real life, that's how I tell too. But this is my soldier in War of Rights. I hope you got a little bit of educational input out of this, trying something new. I'm using video games to teach history. So if you like what you see, give me a like, a share, a comment, a subscribe. Hell, send me a carrier pigeon. I don't care, but any and all interactions helpful, and I'm very grateful for it. But my name is Blade. This is Blade's Military Museum, and I hope you learned something today.